The Shepard Fairey joins us on the Lollapalooza couch. Shepard, it's so great to talk to you in person. I've had so many questions for you over the years because I'm intrigued not only by art and representation, but street art. And your Andre the Giant sticker was on my road case that I used to sit on Alternative Nation on MTV.
I remember that. I had a friend who was friends with the Beastie Boys, and he snuck those on there when they were going to be on hosting. So I'm glad that you remember that. I'm glad it wasn't just subliminally there, that you consciously connected to it.
Oh yeah.
That was my, insinuating myself subversively. That's always been my game.
And my friend whose dad works for the WWE and has for decades said that Andre the Giant was one of the most amazing people. Did you ever get to meet him before he passed?
No, Andre died while I was still very underground with what I was doing. He died in '93. I started in '89, but I didn't get to meet him. And I've met many, many people who knew him and said that he was the most lovely guy. So I'm sad I didn't get to tell him thanks for the inspiration.
And I heard he was stoked on those.
I don't know. His daughter did say that she liked some of my art, but that her mother wasn't that happy about it.
You know how women are, Shepard. All right, so tell me about the exhibit that you've got here in Chicago. It is Art Alliance Provocateurs, and you are bringing awareness to street art without having to go through the phony baloney snobby galleries. At the perfect time is Lollapalooza. Tell me about it.
Well, the show it's really about a lot of different genres of art. Street art and graffiti are one, but it's about art that challenges conventions, aesthetic, social, political. And so, some of the people are people who have worked with music. We've got Winston Smith, who did the Dead Kennedys stuff. We have Stanley Donwood, who does all the Radiohead, and Tom York, the Atoms for Peace stuff. Jamie Reed, who did everything for the Sex Pistols. There's a big group of artists, 40 artists, and the idea is to take that philosophy of, how can you challenge the status quo the way music does it with with bands like Public Enemy and The Clash. I'm looking at artists that make a picture that's alluring, but also have something to say with what they're doing. And, it's partnering with Lollapalooza because I believe that music fans, usually progressive music fans anyway, usually really like visual art, but there's not something that's accessible to them. So working as a street artist, I was always about putting art where people are rather than make them go to a gallery or a museum. And here, with this show, 5 of the artists did murals around town.
And that was the other thing. And that is what is so immediate and that I love. Are you friends with Banksy? Yeah. Do you guys hang out? Are you fans of each other? Do you want to punch him in the mouth?
Yeah, we're friends.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of his work because I think his work's really smart. And he's very economical with his imagery. The imagery is something that whenever I see one of his pieces, that exact combination of concept and picture hasn't been done, but I always feel like it should have been. It's like an instant classic whenever I see a great Banksy. And I think the way in which he implements his work, the mystery, the subversion, and just how he tells stories with the pictures,
and
very clever.
Taking existing elements and seeing something and combining them with movement, and you have 4 different layers working at the same time.
Right, it's very smart work. I'm a fan. I thought his movie Exit Through the Gift Shop was really, really well done.
Yes.
And a lot of people think that movie is a hoax. It's actually all true, but the way in which he tells the story, I think, is in the editing. It's it took things that were very complicated and in some ways frustrating, but then made a great film. So I think anybody that hasn't seen it should see it.
Now on Halloween, you've got 2 young kids who celebrate Halloween, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Have you ever dressed as a sheep herder with fairy wings?
No, I haven't.
Because I think I have my Halloween costume. I think I just thought of it.
I think my best Halloween costume was, I'll describe it, and you can tell me what you think it is. I wore a black cloak with a gold sickle and a sideways baseball cap. Big clock. Clock just said "Time's Up," and there were a lot of designer logos and dollar signs everywhere.
Flavor of Reaping Death?
The Grim Rapper.
That's awesome. That's so beautiful. God bless it. I'm so mad I didn't get that. No! I felt like the Obama campaign left your cheese in the wind a little bit. Like they didn't take ownership of the interface that you had with the Hope poster, and you wanted it to be progress.
Sure.
Which is a more important word for you.
You know, the progress was actually what I initially had on the Hope poster. And I'm proud of that poster as a tool of grassroots activism that wasn't commissioned by their campaign. I did it on my own the same way I do all my posters. And, you know, I ended up making 300,000 posters and 500,000 stickers, and I had free downloads, and it ended up everywhere. And that was phenomenal. But, you know, I am frustrated that our political system is so dysfunctional, and a lot of things haven't panned out the way I hoped they would. But one thing I realized, you know, I was in a lawsuit about the poster because I made the illustration based on a news photo, which, you know, I believed was fair use, and they didn't. But one thing I realized about politicians is that they love to take credit when things are going well, but they scatter when things aren't going well.
Yeah.
And you know, that's disheartening. That's you know, that's not great leadership. But you know, how I feel about Obama is very complicated, and I approve of a lot of the things he's attempted to do, and I'm, you know, I don't approve of domestic spying or our drones program.
All right, Shepard Fairey, and if you're in Chicago, go see Art Alliance Provocateurs. You can see it all around the city. You can see the concentration in one place. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kennedy.
Absolutely.
That's the live Kennedy, dead Kennedys. Yeah.